Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Agentic AI, the future of intelligent systems. This week, the focus shifts to something many people feel but very few articulate openly: the growing distance between what we expect from artificial intelligence and what our systems are actually capable of supporting. There is a quiet tension building between the story and the structure, between imagination and engineering, between the narrative we repeat and the reality we have to run. Artificial intelligence continues to advance at an astonishing pace. New abilities arrive faster than we can fully process them. Every month, models become more capable, more fluent, more context aware, and more surprising. The science is moving forward, but the systems behind the science, the architecture, the governance, the runtime design, the operational foundations, are not evolving at the same speed, and whenever the narrative grows faster than the capability to operationalize it, a correction is not just likely, it becomes unavoidable. You can see the early signs everywhere. We have entered a phase where many genuinely believe that artificial intelligence will replace thinking itself. The belief appears in product visions, strategic documents, conference keynotes, and investor conversations. It sounds powerful, it sounds inevitable, but the real world does not bend to ambitious statements. The real world bends to constraints, architecture, timing, and accountability. And today, there's still a significant gap between what artificial intelligence can generate beautifully in isolation and what organizations can reliably integrate into real workflows without breaking the systems around it. Teams imagine autonomy while the fundamentals still struggle with grounding, with context, with domain depth, with governance, and with the reality of complex environments. So, when expectations run faster than actual capability, disappointment is not a failure, it is a natural adjustment. A second adjustment is happening in the build versus run divide. Building with large language models looks effortless. Running them is a completely different discipline. A prototype can excite anyone for a few minutes, but production has no room for illusions. Once artificial intelligence enters real systems, it has to live alongside legacy software, data pipelines, compliance policies, audit needs, latency constraints, security expectations, multi team ownership, and the long term cost of maintaining whatever intelligence has been introduced. The difficult part is never the model call, it is everything before and after it. And this is also why artificial intelligence is being blamed for organizational challenges that existed long before it arrived. It does not create cracks in a company, it simply exposes the ones that were already there. Weak processes, unclear ownership, inconsistent engineering discipline, and unrealistic expectations become visible the moment artificial intelligence touches them. Another pressure building quietly is the cost of intelligence. Large models are remarkable, but they are not cheap, not in compute, not in carbon, not in operational overhead. Yet many teams have begun competing in the wrong race. They choose systems based on the most advanced model rather than the right model. They add more agents, more chains, more context, more compute without asking if the additional intelligence produces proportional value. Productivity does not come from increasing model size, it comes from choosing the right level of intelligence for the job. If efficiency, right sizing, and cost carbon discipline do not grow as fast as the models themselves, organizations will hit limits not because artificial intelligence slows down, but because budgets and sustainability thresholds reach their ceiling. There's also the quiet but decisive factor of trust. Not the philosophical version, but the operational version. The version that asks, what exactly happened inside the system? Why did a specific outcome occur? Which data influenced it? Can we reproduce this? Can we audit it? Can we control it? Impressive capabilities collapse the moment we cannot answer these basic questions with certainty. When reliability wavers, even for a moment, organizations pause their rollout no matter how promising the technology appears. And then we come to the skills gap, not a shortage of tools, but a shortage of engineering depth. Tools do not replace orchestration logic, tools do not replace data contracts, tools do not replace evaluation frameworks, lifecycle governance, latency strategies, memory strategies, or cost carbon optimization. Artificial intelligence is powerful, but it does not remove the responsibility to engineer the systems around it. The belief that tools alone will transform enterprises has quietly become its own bubble. The next layer is the physics of constraints. Artificial intelligence might appear limitless, but every capability has a resource cost: latency, tokens, memory, energy, carbon, billing, orchestration overhead. As experiments evolve into products, these constraints begin to shape what is actually feasible. Chains get slower, agents multiply, prompts expand, costs rise, and the illusion of infinite reasoning fades the moment architecture and budget meet real users with real expectations. And all of this leads to the core misunderstanding. Large models do not think, they simulate patterns, infer intent, generate possibilities, expand reasoning paths, and accelerate exploration. They elevate thinking, but they do not replace the human elements that matter: judgment, accountability, expertise, responsibility, long term reasoning, and decision ownership. What fades is the belief that artificial intelligence eliminates thinking. What remains is the reality that it amplifies thinking. So, does this mean the wave is collapsing? Number. This is not collapse, this is correction. It is a shift from promise to proof, excitement to discipline, capability to reliability, demonstrations to durable systems, speed to sustainability. What is fading is the illusion that we can bypass the fundamentals of building strong, integrated, reliable, efficient systems. What remains is the work that actually matters, the work that survives the transition from prototype to production. Organizations are not stepping away from artificial intelligence. They are stepping away from unrealistic expectations. And that is a good thing, because every transformational technology eventually returns to the same foundations: integration, optimization, governance, clarity, resilience, sustainability, and engineering discipline. Anything that cannot be integrated will not scale. Anything that cannot be governed will not be trusted. Anything that cannot be optimized will not be affordable. Anything that cannot be sustained will not survive. The correction brings us back to the fundamentals that matter: efficiency over excess, integration over isolation, clarity over spectacle, systems over stories, outcomes over volume, discipline over hype. And the moment narrative slows down and meets these fundamentals, real progress becomes possible. The artificial intelligence narrative bubble has already burst. Now the real work starts, and it starts with returning to the basics, strengthening the systems beneath the stories, and engineering with intention instead of expectation. So, as we move forward, keep focusing on the fundamentals. That is where durability lives, that is where value forms, And that is where the next chapter of artificial intelligence will be written quietly, steadily, and sustainably. Stay tuned for more conversations on how the future of intelligent systems is unfolding, not in the noise, but in the structure we build beneath it.